Hi, everybody. We're back
Hey,
already.
yes.
Yes. Yes. Look,
Hey
guys,
guys.
I know that I always forget to tell you this at the beginning of every video. I need you to like and subscribe. Comment down below. What is your favorite segment on today's news pod? Let us know after you get done watching the video. Likes and comments go a long way to helping the Current Era podcast grow. It is growing every single day. I appreciate everybody, but I want it to grow more. More. Okay, Mondi. News, reviews, updates, tidbits, factoids. What do we
Let's
got
do it.
today,
Let's do
man?
it. Let's pop it off with some video game news in the ether. There is a new Game of Thrones video game is reportedly being developed at Nexon. Just a few details on the game. It will be an MMORPG. It's going to be set in the north, and there's a story campaign that's going to be online. So, any kind of interest in this, or do you think this has the potential to be good?
It's it. Video games are so tough because, like, sure, all that stuff sounds great, but if the gameplay is horrible or if certain things are horrible, then it can't close that gap. So I need to see more. Like I always say with video games, like video games is one of like the hardest things to comment on when it comes to just like thoughts and opinions because like I said, like there's been so many things that sound great, like that Marvel's Avengers game that came out 2 years. Like it sounded great. Like you get to play as all these characters, you get to do these missions, you can change between the characters, blah 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 blah. And then you play it and you're like, this game fucking sucks. So yeah, like everything you said sounds fun, but will it be? Who knows?
You're right. When I ask you those kind of questions, I'm more so just asking from like a conceptual standpoint. That even sound like it could be interesting. So
Of
you're right.
course. Then
With
yes.
no gameplay, it's hard to tell.
Yeah.
Um, a new Funko Pop game is also in development. It's going to be a co-op action game. It's going to be called Funko Fusion. It comes September 13th. It will include characters from all over the spectrum. We got characters from Nope, Chucky, Invincible, the Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, Jurassic World, Back to the Future, Walking Dead, Monsters of the Universe. There's a lot of just different IP in there. Does this sound something that do you think this could be as big as Funko Pops is? Could that popularity transfer over to this game or not really?
Oh, I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, I don't know. This is weird. Like I've literally never in my lifetime been like an action figure, a toy guy, like ever, like in any point in my life. So this fits into
Okay,
that
they're
category of just
collectibles, not
what? No,
toys.
they're toys. This fits into shit that I just don't understand, uh, and I really don't have an interest in. I'm just in the minority because, like you said, like they're super popular. I don't get why. I really don't. But okay, for everybody out there, good for you. Have fun with the Funko Pop video game.
There's like a Funko Pop museum somewhere in LA, I believe. It looks really cool. Like you can go see all different kind of Funko Pops, and then at the end, you can make a Funko Pop of yourself, which is really cool. I might visit that whenever I go to LA. There's going to be a GI Joe Snake Eyes game is in the works. It's similar to Batman Arkham games. Apparently, it will be
Mm.
developed by Atomic Arcade, whose leadership were behind Batman Arkham Asylum. So, do you think this could be cool, like a Snake Eyes game set in like an Arkham Asylum kind of gameplay style?
Yeah, I mean, sure, but like, do does the masses give a fuck about Snake Eyes?
You love shitting on GI Joe.
No, I mean, like that's
Like
the kicker.
like in
Like,
the '80s, GI Joe was like the shit. It was like Transformers, GI Joe, like that was.
okay, well, the niggas that played that shit in the '80s are fucking dead now. So
No, they're our
sorry.
parents. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Okay. Well, my mom doesn't play fucking video games, so I don't know who this is for. But it isn't for me. I don't care about this shit. No.
Speaking of video games, Fallout is the second most watched show to ever debut on Prime Video. It had 65 million views in 16 days, only a few million behind The Rings of Power, which was at the number one spot. That's the Lord of the Rings kind of prequel. So yeah, Fallout's been killing it. I've been. It's one of those shows that obviously has some staying power because I've been hearing about it ever since the show debuted. I enjoyed it
Mm.
for what it was. People seem to be loving it a lot more than me. So yeah, do you have any
I
interest in
mean,
ever checking the show out?
well, you never played the game, so
Never did. No, did you?
yeah. So I mean, I imagine that the people that play the video game love the show more. But no, I never did. Don't plan to play the game. Honestly, I may give the show a try. I'm in this mode where like I'm starting a whole bunch of shows because I'm just having trouble sleeping at night. That's another conversation. But yeah, so yeah, I'll probably give Fallout a chance eventually.
I say if you do watch it, watch the first 2 episodes, and that'll give you pretty much an idea of the tonality of the entire show. Nothing really changes. I mean, we get some mysteries that are really cool to find out, but the tonality kind of stays the same.
Got it.
Kind of on the video game train, Dave and Buster's will now allow players
This is crazy.
18 years and up to gamble on arcade games. So the gambling world is expanding every year. It's made
It
it to
is.
Dave and Buster's, guys. Is Chuck E. Cheese next?
Yeah, I guess so. It's just so crazy how prominent gambling is, man. Because even like what 5 years ago, like just pre-pandemic, it was still
Banned everywhere.
taboo. Yeah, like it was still taboo to even talk about in the airwaves. Now you can't watch anything. Like even something like the Walking Dead show, the ones who live, like on AMC. There were gambling ads during like it was like this doesn't make any. There's no correlation to this, but I mean it's everywhere now. It's hard to avoid. It's crazy. But
It really is crazy.
does this surprise me, Dave and Buster's? It kind of does. This is kind of weird. I'm not sure. Like I think like they specifically mentioned like the basketball game they have, like you can bet on the outcome. But I'm just like, bro, like what kind of sick freak is out here going to be betting on Dave and Buster's shit? Like, oh my god, that's crazy.
Yeah, and like even the nature of gambling is expanding. Like I remember during the Usher halftime show, there was a over and under how many times he would take off his shirt. So like it's just really getting crazy out here.
Yeah, wow.
Let's talk some reviews. Did you finish any shows aside from Knuckles?
Yeah, no, just Knuckles, just Knuckles. And honestly, oh, go ahead. Yeah, I want to hear what you
Knuckles.
think.
He's about to go in.
No, not, no, not.
Okay. So guys, I could not explain my excitement for this show. Before. First of all, this is my review is not going to be kind of no, it's not going to be non-spoiler actually. I couldn't explain my excitement for this show before I went into it. I was just I don't know why I was just so excited. The Sonic universe has totally sold me at this point. Even from the marketing had me hyped from the person whoever. And then the show proceeds to have nothing but hard rock, but that's another conversation. They drew the niggas in and said, "Okay, gotcha." And even like the tagline, it just hits different. Like I was just so excited for this show. I do think Idris Elba is really perfect for this role. He's really kind of stepping into his own. He's really owning it. You can tell he's having a lot of fun in that voice acting booth. It feels like at this point when he says, "You think you can take my power," it's like his catchphrase now, and I'm totally here for that. I need to hear him say it in Sonic 3 at this point.
He will. He will.
They obviously couldn't afford James Marsden, I guess, but we stood out Tika Sumpter's fine ass, which I was cool for, but only for an episode. So could they really afford her? Who knows? But it was weird that they teased Sonic and Tails. I mean, obviously, we knew that they weren't going to be in there long term because why would you call the show Knuckles with Sonic and Tails? But just to see that trio, it's like seeing Cap, Thor, and Iron Man. It's like that's the trio we need. Like just to see them banter and interact with each other. That was when the show was at its peak, and that was like the first episode, and within the first 20 minutes, and then I don't blame Knuckles because I think he can definitely hold a show by itself. But the issue comes in with Wade. Wade is a goddamn cartoon character. And first of all, I had no idea that Wade was in Sonic 1 and 2. They kept referencing him from the other movies. And I'm like, hold on. Like, I did my research. I'm like, was this nigga in Sonic 1 and 2? And sure enough, he was. He was James Marsden's cop buddy. I was like, okay, I guess that. I still don't remember him, but sure. So Wade it should be called Wade on Paramount, not Knuckles at this point, because Wade is just the entire focus of the show. Like I said, he's an actual cartoon character living in real life. He kind of reminded me of like Lazy Town vibes. Like Knuckles was way more serious than him. I couldn't take Wade serious at all. Wade's sister I thought she was kind of funny to be honest, but I still wanted just more Knuckles for a Knuckles show. In the words of KG in the movie Uncut Gems, why the fuck would you show me something if I couldn't have it then? And that's once again back relating to the Sonic Tails and Knuckles thing. I just thought that trio, like, just make a show about them. Like, let that show be like a little intermediary thing between Sonic 2 and 3, in my opinion. They referenced Keanu Reeves, which is really cool because he's playing Shadow. I wonder if that was like on purpose, if they knew that far back then that he was going to be Shadow. But really, if anything, it just got me more excited for the Shadow appearance in Sonic 3. I will say that I give this show credit for one thing, which it was not afraid to get weird. It definitely wasn't like some kind of just like super like formulaic kind of thing, because episode 4 has a musical break in it. We're really like almost the whole episode where it's like this kind of like Rock of Horrors kind of play, and that musical was so bonkers and off the wall. I was like, am I tripping balls right now? Like, am I on shrooms? Is this really happening in a Knuckles show? And honestly, the musical kind of hits. I won't be surprised if I kind of like go back and like watch that again, because that was a really fun musical, but it was just so weird and so wacky in this show. And overall, the show is nothing to obviously brag home about. I'll forget it next week. To be honest, I gave the show a C. It's not bad, but it's just so aggressively mediocre, kind of what I expected. And so yeah, that's my thoughts on Knuckles. Nothing too much to really say, if anything.
Interesting. Interesting. A lot of times when I ask you to go first, I just need you to confirm my negativeness.
Mm.
Because if I say it first, then, oh, Julian, you hate everything, blah, blah, blah. But if you say it first, then, like, there's no narrative to be had. This show is ass. Like, I,
Ass.
I, I couldn't believe I wasted my life watching the show. Um, the promo for this show was so misleading. And you know what? I completely blame myself. Like, what the fuck was I thinking that they were going to make something for me? like, like, this is for black millennials. Like, do you need my power, nigga? Like, Nuck if you buck in the promo. Like,
Yeah, Cuddy.
yeah, Idris Elba. Yeah, like kids cut. Yeah, this is for black millennials. No, the fuck, it's not.
For
I
small children.
mean, yeah, it is. Yeah, which again is completely my fault for even assuming that they gave a fuck about me because they don't at all. Um, and yeah, man, this show just meant absolutely nothing to me. I realized after the second episode what I was actually going to get, and I pretty much just hate watched it the rest because like I had to finish it. Unfortunately, they were only 20-30 minutes at most every episode, including credits. So I was like, whatever, I'll finish it in a night, which I did, and I was just like, I like. You literally said the word like I'm gonna forget about the show in a week. Like this show means nothing to me. I will say that when I call it ass, I don't mean that in terms of production value, voice acting quality, or anything like that. Because I do think for a TV show, they did what they could to make it something. But in terms of narrative, moving the story forward, in terms of was this important or needed, the answer is no for all that. So yeah, the show was ass. Sorry,
Yeah,
this is one of the worst shows I've seen this year, unfortunately.
I, w- I don't think it's bad only because I recognized who it was for.
Yeah.
I do think this is like a live action cartoon if you look at it like that. I feel like
Hmm.
it's just a cartoon that was just done in live action. I thought Knuckles at the end, like anything with Knuckles, I was really invested in. I like it. Knuckles is
Of
so cool to
course.
me. Like
Of
like
course.
the flaming fist at the end, like that got me kind of hyped. I was like, okay, that brought some life back into the show. Um, Knuckles actually set Paramount Plus record for over 4 million plus hours watched. It's the most original series. It's the most for an original series in its premiere weekend. So I don't know what other Paramount Plus shows have to compare it to, but uh, yeah, shout out to
Yeah.
Knuckles, I guess. So yeah,
Shout out to Knuckles. You got me, bitch. You fucking got me.
I wonder if Wade will have a bigger presence in Sonic 3 now. I mean, I can't say I hope not. I don't mind Wade, but I'm just so indifferent with him. It doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
Um, did you finish or did you watch any movies?
No, I did not.
Okay, I watched two movies. The first one is The Idea of You. This is a new movie starring Anne Hathaway, now streaming on Prime Video. Basically, this is a movie like a rom com, pretty much. The plot of it is like I've heard basically that this is based off a novel, which is based off of like a One Direction fan fiction, in which the younger guy in the movie that she's having the love thing with is like Harry Styles supposedly. That's who he's supposed to be, and I can totally see that after watching the movie. It's one of those movies that has really good original music because, like I said, it's based off of that kind of band kind of thing. Found myself bobbing my head a couple times. I was like, okay, I might download that song or two. And I remember just the internet having really big issue with this when the trailer first came out about Anne Hathaway's age differential between her and the younger man, which I thought was so stupid because in real life, Anne Hathaway's 41 and the guy's 29. In the movie, his character is 24 and she's 40. I don't see an issue with that in either circumstance, to be honest. And so, yeah,
Even if the roles were reversed, even if the man was older and she was younger.
no, because there's literally a movie which I saw in the movies in January, which is now on Netflix called Miller's Girl, which Jenna Ortega's a fucking high school student dating Martin Freeman from fucking Black Panther, the old ass white nigga. So, like, I don't see an issue
Wait,
with that. Now that issue, I do say. Wait,
I was about to say, wait, Monty,
wait,
what are you saying, nigga?
let me, you're right. Hold
I
on.
was about to say, wait.
That actually sounded crazy, but
Okay.
I was going somewhere with that. I promise.
Oh,
Anyway,
okay, got it. Okay,
anyway,
yeah,
anyway.
sure.
Anyway, going back to what I just said about the whole internet having issues with that, which I don't. They're two consenting adults in this situation. Um, the back half of the movie really focuses on that and like the kind of hypocrisy that women have to face when dating younger men. And that kind of just really dragged the movie down for me because I thought the movie was kind of fun when it was just like a little love adventure of this older woman who meets this guy at Coachella, and her, her daughter's crush is now falling for her. That's kind of the best part of the movie. But then it focuses so much on that the politicalness of basically having an older woman dating a younger man and the paparazzi getting involved. And to me, that's when it kind of dragged down. I do think that's an important discussion to be had, but not in this kind of movie, which kind of like is predicated on being fun, so to speak. At the end of the day, it's average as hell. I gave it a C. I just wonder if audiences that are of younger audiences will appreciate this movie because there's like a young kind of teeny guy in there with like One Direction kind of stuff in there, or if the older audiences will appreciate it more because like in Hathaway, I see myself in her. I don't know who it's for, but I gave it a C. It's not bad. It's on Prime Video, so yeah. And Hathaway looks so fucking good, by the way. Aging like fine wine. Next review is for The Fall Guy, starring Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt. Do you plan on watching this at all in the movies?
Not at all. No.
Okay. Well, this comes from director. This is spoiler free. Comes from director David Leitch. He's made movies that I'm sure you guys love and have heard about: Deadpool 2, Hobbs and Shaw, Bullet Train, which came out last year, which I enjoyed for what it was. And he's actually a former stuntman himself, which is really cool. So this is like it's like a love letter to stuntmen, to like the stunt community. It's been heavily campaigned as that. I recommend you guys look at some of the marketing for this movie. It's really cool. Like the
It's
rollout.
been fun.
They're having like actual stuntmen come on the red carpet and do all these tricks and stuff like that. I think it's really cool.
You can call it tricks.
Is that disrespectful? Hope not. Okay, whatever. Anyway.
Oh, you're fucking hilarious.
Anyway,
Coming out here
guys.
doing this fucking tricks and shit like a fucking magic show. Stunts,
I will,
bitch. They're the stunts.
Stunts. Sorry. Anyway, tricks.
Go ahead.
Anyway, with movies like Scream 5 and Scream 6, Argyle, which just came out a couple months ago, Deadpool and Wolverine, we're in the era of meta, and when the movies like to have commentary from a meta angle, this movie definitely falls in line with that. I was the only one laughing in my theater for whatever reason. I don't know. It's a super awkward feeling when like the theater's packed and you're like dying laughing. Everybody's like, "What the fuck are you laughing at?" But to my credit, I was in like a very like an older demographic for some reason. I went to like a 5 o'clock showing on Thursday. It was hella older people, so maybe that's what it is. As a millennial, guys, I thought it was a good mix of comedy and action. However, it does have its momentum interrupted quite a bit of times because it has this long bouts of like this narration and like this dialogue, which kind of definitely slowed that momentum down. And it's way too long, in my opinion. It's one of those movies where it feels like it's over, and we have 20 to 30 minutes more left of the movie. And I was like, okay, what are we doing here? But overall, guys, it was a fun time. I think it's going to be a cool date movie. I think the girl might enjoy, assuming you guys are a heterosexual partnership, the girl might enjoy the romance and the rom-comness of it all, and the guy will enjoy the action and stunts and stuff like that. So it's funny too because it's one of those movies that's like shooting a movie within a movie, like Tropic Thunder. But the movie that they're shooting is like a riff on like Cowboys versus Aliens. You remember that movie with Daniel Craig?
Mm-hmm.
And like it's like Cowboys versus Aliens with like a little bit of Mad Max and like a little bit of Rebel Moon. Actually, and it's so funny because like there's a score that they have for that movie, which is like a total riff on the Dune score. You know that It's so funny. I was dying laughing every time they showed that. But it's a lot of fun cameos in the movie as well. I gave it a B minus, guys. It's a really just fun time at the theater, but nothing special to be honest. So, but Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt are always good in anything that they're in. So, yeah. All right,
Got it.
Let's talk about what's in the works. We have last pod that we had a Kingdom Hearts movie that was going to be greenlit, right? But now we have more details on it. It's going to be animated, actually. It's rumored to be a mix of animation and live action, but for right now, we know it's going to be animated. And I think it had to be animated because how could, like we said, how could we have goofy live action? That would look fucking nuts. Like it had to be animated or some kind of animation had to be involved. So it's not a surprise there. But does this give you more hope knowing that this Kingdom Hearts movie is going to be not live action all the way?
I mean, to an extent, yeah. Like you said, I think we pretty much realized when we were discussing on the last pod that there was really no way that this could just be a live action film. I mean, having Disney and Final Fantasy in the same universe is already nuts. So like, there's so many things that these characters do. So yeah, having it animated in live action is probably the best route to go.
Are you excited for it as a Kingdom Hearts fan?
Not at all. No, okay. I'm actually dreading this. But you know me. I don't want anything that I actually like to be touched. So yeah.
Scooby-Doo is getting a live action series in the works at Netflix. No. This is kind of a bittersweet for me. I love Scooby-Doo IP. I think it stood the test of time. No, fuck. Why do you always laugh at me?
Nigga, when was the last time you watched anything Scooby Doo that was new? What?
I watch Scooby Doo every year. The James Gunn. Anyway, but
What?
it's literally like a top 5 movie for me, like ever. But anyway,
That's crazy.
I'm excited for this because, like I said, I love Scooby Doo, but I'm not excited because this means that Scooby Doo 3 is so much farther from ever being made. It was rumored that we were getting like a rated R Scooby Doo 3, which I just would love with that cast. But yeah, so we'll see what this ends up being.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck about this. I'm sorry. Actually, I'm not
All
sorry.
right,
This can go to hell.
really? Okay.
Hell.
The singer Her and Oprah are teaming up to make a new HBCU inspired film. Does this bring you any excitement?
Does it bring you any excitement? I'm curious.
It does, because I think that we need more HBCU like films. Like, I love Drumlines of the World, to Stomp the Yards. I just rewatched the movie called Burning Sands on Netflix, which I enjoy, with Trevor Jackson. So we need more
Hmm.
HBCU type films. I even watched the horrible show on the CW, All American spinoff, All American Homecoming, just to get that HBCU vibe. But it was so horrible I had to stop watching it. But anyway, yeah, I want more. I want more HBCU stories, and so if Oprah's the one to bring it to us, I question its validity, but I still welcome it.
As long as it is it on her fucking network, then
Right.
sure. Excuse me.
A Maze Runner reboot is in development. Is this the fastest reboot to ever happen from a movie?
Bro, like this is actually nuts. Like
Yeah.
the first Maze Runner came out maybe what? Oh well, I guess it's been like 10 years or so, maybe a little longer actually.
But the last one
But
came out
still,
less than like it's 8 years ago, less than 7 years ago.
very true.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm not. It's so funny because I saw the first Maze Runner in theaters, and I was just like, "Holy shit! Like they've got something here. This is an amazing movie." And then I went and read the book, and I was like, "Oh my god, what was that movie?"
Oh, the book is way
um,
better.
I don't know about better, but the book is just different. And again, like I'm actually glad that I got to see the movie first, so I didn't have these preconceived notions. But now that I have read the book, and this was years ago, so I mean, maybe I probably won't remember too much, but I'm guessing maybe they want to follow more closely in line with the book. Um, but look, I mean, the first movie did well enough to where they made a fucking trilogy out of it. So I don't know. I mean, that's like the only thing that I could think of to where they're like, okay, let's get this reboot going, because if they just want to follow more closely in line with the book, because from what I remember, the book and the movie are kind of like two things, like they're two totally different things. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, I mean, yeah, we'll see, it could be to his detriment.
Did you enjoy the Maze Runner movies for what they were?
The first one, I really did. The second one, I feel like that got progressively worse, unfortunately. By the time the third one came out, I really didn't even care. Actually, I don't even think I saw it in theaters. Like I waited until it came out, which is crazy. But yeah.
Yeah,
What
those
about
movies
you?
aren't great. I really enjoy it for what they are. Like, I don't ever find myself just dying to like revisit them, but I remember liking them for what they were.
Yeah.
I think Dylan O'Brien's a star. I still think that. I think he's deprived of an opportunity to really make it on the silver screen. But yeah, I think this is way too early for a reboot, to be honest. But I will say that Maze Runner is such an interesting lore attached there that I think maybe they could do something if the book is vastly different than what the movie gave us.
Yeah.
Um,
We'll see.
a new a new Mad Max movie is in the works from visionary George Miller. The story takes place 1 year before Mad Max Fury Road. I'm really excited for Furiosa coming out later on this year. I know you aren't, but I think George Miller has something here, man. I know he did this a long time ago, but he seems to have such a vibrant mind for somebody his age, and if he can keep making these movies great, and I'm here for it. What?
Shots fired, boy. Shots fired.
No, no.
Look, even though I'm not super duper excited for this Furiosa movie, I will say that I've been enjoying the promo and everything that I've been hearing and seeing leading up to it. Um, I still don't really want to watch this movie, man. I'm not sure what it's going to take to get me in the theater to watch this. Maybe this just won't be a theater experience for me. Maybe I'll just watch it on streaming or whatever. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, I hope I'm wrong and everybody loves it. That's really not going to sway my opinion. But yeah, we'll see.
If there's one thing I can't say about George Miller, he's one of those directors that he makes movies that you really want to see in the theaters if you're going to see it at all, because he just makes spectacle type movies. So, yeah, I'm excited for it. Pitch Perfect 4 is also in the works. Says Rebel Wilson, which is exciting because these movies got worse each one. Like, I love Pitch Perfect 1. Pitch Perfect 2 is okay. 3 is like horrible, but they're all good times. So I just want this kind of movie back in theaters. I like this movie. It's a good mix up, change of pace. So hopefully they can learn from their mistakes and bring it back to its, its glory. I love Pitch Perfect.
It's so interesting. I don't remember this series ever coming out, like ever.
Really?
But I know exactly what it is. I know exactly who's in it. But like I couldn't tell you when the first one, second, third one came out. And this one's gonna fly by too, and I'm not gonna like I don't care. But
So I
yeah.
assume you didn't watch any of those in theaters, Pitch Perfect 1 through 3?
No.
Okay. Okay. It's got some good music, good stuff like that. Let's talk some trailers, guys. We have the trailer for the new Fairly Odd Parents reboot once again. It premieres May 20th on Nickelodeon. It's only like a short teaser out, but the big change is that different animation, and we have a black girl instead of Timmy. So it's not for us, obviously, but what do you think this is like going to be? You think it's going to be good
I mean,
for kids?
yeah, I'm about to say like unfortunately, I don't even think that's for us to say or comment on because like it literally is not for us. Nobody in our age group is going to watch this show. And that's fine. Like this is the new Kids on the Block's generation. They do have the original voice actors for Cosmo and Wanda, and it sounds like Tara Strong is doing this new black girl too. So cool. Who also did Timmy Turner. So yeah, I mean, they got the gang back together to give these new children their own Fairly Odd Parents, and that's fine with me. So cool, let's do it.
Yeah. Because I remember there was like a live action Fairly Odd Parents show that must have went to hell quickly because that came out like a couple of years ago.
Yeah. Must have.
Anyway, last trailer here, guys, is for the movie. Big trailer. It's for Barry Jenkins' new movie, director of Moonlight, Mufasa: The Lion King. This is the prequel to the Lion King live action film that came out a couple years ago. The trailer is now out. It's coming to theaters December 20th. It's aiming for that big Christmas slot, I guess, Christmas era time slot. Donald Glover and Beyonce will be returning as Simba and Nala. Yeah, also Blue Ivy Carter, Beyonce's daughter, will star as the daughter in the movie. So,
Kiara.
yeah, Kiara and Lin Manuel Miranda will write the music. He's done Hamilton. What the fuck are you laughing at? What are you laughing at? You always laughing at me. What?
Niggas love hating on Lin Manuel Miranda because they didn't you were like so there's gonna be raps in it. It's gonna be raps.
The lions are gonna be 100% be rapping. I went to the savannah and I had to get an antelope. Had to get an antelope to get it to eat. Like, oh my god! Like,
hey, yeah, book it, bitch.
I fucking love
Book
Into
it.
the Heights. Have you seen Into the Heights, by the way?
No, I haven't.
Oh my god, it's so good. But yeah, anyway, I'm talking shit about Lin-Manuel Miranda, but he's talented. But I don't want these lions rapping. But anyway, what are your thoughts on the trailer? And what were your thoughts on the early Lion King remake that came out a couple years ago?
Yeah, never saw it. Didn't want to see it. And that is Aladdin's fault. That is Mulan's
Aladdin was
fault.
good. I don't care. Greg, I love Guy Ritchie's Aladdin. I like it for what it is.
Nah, that movie can go to fucking hell.
You're crazy.
And there was something else that came out, and I was just like, I'm done with these Disney movies. It literally took a nigga being on screen in a Disney movie for me to be like, you know what, I'm fucking back. Shout out to Halle Bailey. Yes. All right. Anyway, yeah.
Had you crying in the theater, right?
Absolutely. What?
Yeah. Okay.
What? That's how you do magic, Disney. Fucking bitch. Anyway, this Mufasa thing, it doesn't mean anything to me, man. I'm sorry. I'm gonna be there opening night for this. Like, I'm gonna watch it. Really? But like, did I see anything in that trailer that was like, oh, no, I didn't know. Mufasa is younger, obviously, so cool. He doesn't have his mane. Oh, how's he gonna get the mane? He's gonna grow up. What the fuck am I supposed to dissect about this? I'm sorry.
So why watch this instead of not the remake? Because this is technically a prequel in that same universe. So why not watch the other one too?
Because why would I need to watch it?
Even though, to be honest, it's almost like a shot for shot remake of the
movie. Yeah. So why would I? Yeah, I don't need to watch it. I've seen it 1,000 times actually.
So for guys, if you don't know, Lion King is my favorite 2D animated movie of all time,
Oh
and so
my
I hold this property in reverence.
Okay.
You know, I love it.
Hmm.
The remake was, you know, it wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. Everybody said it was, in my opinion. It was, like I said, a shot for shot remake, and just because of that alone, it can't be a bad movie. But it definitely doesn't compare to the 2D when it came out in the 90s. The animals just weren't expressive enough with because they were so like photorealistic. What the fuck? What's up, man? You been laughing at me all pod.
You got the jokes today. This nigga said
What?
the animals weren't expressive enough.
They work because, like, but it's like a real lion, like, you know, like in like.
I saw.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, this new
That's a
Barry
funny
Jenkins
comment.
movie.
Oh man.
I trust Barry Jenkins. I think he's an amazing director. So hopefully he can
Okay.
bring something new to this. Because this is a new story, it excites me because it's not a shot for shot remake of anything. That's really, really exciting. People were having an issue with the fact that the beginning of the trailer takes place in like a snowy kind of terrain, and like people were like, "Snow in the savannah? What the fuck is going on here?" Guys, it's
Oh my
Disney.
God.
They're taking creative liberties. It's okay. I didn't mind that, to be honest. But yeah, I'm excited, man. I think this is could be good. And Beyonce's returning. I love Beyonce. I'm excited to hear Blue Ivy Carter and Donald Glover. So yeah.
Let's do it.
Tidbitty time. You ready? The opening scene for Finding Nemo was added last minute after Pixar got worried that they had made their first bad movie. The quote was, "Originally, you found out about Nemo's mom's death through flashbacks." And I think that opening is one of the best openings in Pixar history. So they made the right decision. But what are your thoughts on that?
I've never seen Finding Nemo.
What?
Never. Never.
What?
Never seen Finding
Wow.
Nemo. Sorry.
What? Why? Because we were kids when this came out.
And as a kid, I was like, I don't give a fuck about this movie with this stupid fish. I'm going to see the Will Smith movie instead with the fish, bitch, like a real nigga. This nigga.
Julian.
I'm just playing.
Also,
I'm trolling.
oh, you have seen Finding Nemo?
No, I haven't seen Finding Nemo, but that's not the reason why.
But I assume you saw Shark Tale, though, right? You fucking.
Of course, I saw Shark Tale. But again, I was a kid. I didn't have a choice. My mother would drag me to movies, and she would not drag me to some. She didn't want to see this fucking movie about this fucking fish. But when she saw Will Smith as the fish, she was like, yeah, we're going to see that one. So, sorry.
So
5-year-old Julian didn't have a choice.
As a kid, you just had no agency at all. You could say, hey, Mom, can we go see this? It was just whatever she wanted to take you to see?
100%. I was a kid.
So what?
In a black household.
Like, me too. I was like, hey, Mom, I want to go see Iron Giant. I remember she took me to go see Iron Giant while she watched Love and Basketball. I was fucking horrible parenting, by the way. Yeah, I was sitting my little ass in the seat, enjoying that fuck out of that movie. Anyway, Julian, seriously, on a serious note, guys, please tell Julian how great Finding Nemo is. Like, it's some classics that you just will not touch for some reason. Lord of the Rings, Finding Nemo, it's really the best golden age of Pixar. It's really amazing. I do think Pixar is honestly not in its golden age anymore. I don't think it's like coveted as like the top of Western animation anymore. I think Disney's right there. I think DreamWorks is right there now. So that's an interesting conversation to be had as well. But yeah, this is when Pixar was at its best, in my opinion. Anyway, your boy The Rock has been having some allegations against him. The Rock was allegedly constantly 7 to 8 hours late to work on his new film Red One, which cost of around $50 million. People who previously worked with The Rock says he pees in water bottles to save time, which has upset crew members. Ryan Reynolds also had a very similar experience with him on the film Red Notice on Netflix, which led them to having a big feud, and they didn't speak to each other for years. Does this surprise you, or do you think there's any merit to these accusations of The Rock just doing his own thing and saying fuck it? 7 to 8 hours late is crazy. Costing the studio $50 million is crazy.
Yeah. The reason why I feel like these allegations are over exaggerated. I'm not saying that there's absolutely no merit to them, because something as anal as peeing in a jar like that had to come from somewhere, something. But there's no way that any studio, it doesn't matter if you're fucking Leonardo DiCaprio, it doesn't matter if you're fucking Tom
Hanks.
No, nigga, that's not his name. Nigga. What's Ethan Hawke's name? Not Ethan Hawke. Ethan from Mission Impossible. Please give me his name.
Tom Cruise.
Thank you, Tom Cruise. Like it doesn't matter how big of a star you are. If you're losing a movie studio $50 to $100 million, they're not going to work with you. So I call bullshit on that. Being 7 to 8 hours late, come on, that's ridiculous. It's ludicrous. Him peeing in water bottles for whatever reason, it just strikes me as something that he would do. I don't know why I'm like not having a hard time believing that one, but the other things I'm like, no way. But yeah, I mean, honestly, this doesn't mean anything to me. I don't care. I mean, and the studio clearly doesn't either because they're still going to release everything that he touches. So either
True.
this is completely bogus and unfounded, or it's true and studios are stupid. In either event, I don't care.
No, I think he's just a diva, and he's going to bring in a lot of viewers anyway, so they're willing to put up with it. But what do I know?
Yeah, what do you know?
Yoshihiro Togashi announces that he has begun working on the Hunter x Hunter manga again. Do you believe this to be true, and are you excited if it is true?
I mean, okay, yeah. I mean, look, he said it. Yeah, of course I believe it to be true, but that's not the issue. The issue is how fucking long, bitch. For people that don't know, the author of Hunter X Hunter, as I would call it, this manga started in 1996. We're in 2024. This is not One Piece. This nigga has been trying to stop and start this manga since the 90s, literally. Partially due to health issues, but no, it is partially due to health issues.
How could you be
but
mad? Like, what's wrong with
no,
you?
no, because like to my knowledge, he hasn't had those health issues for years now.
Oh, to your
But
knowledge.
he's just been doing other things, which is totally cool. But all I want is if he's gonna do it, just commit, bitch, and let's get it done. Because like we've been waiting for years. It's like waiting for fucking years.
Do you think the death of the guy that made Dragon Ball Z? Do you think that might have inspired him to pick it back up?
Akira Toriyama, bitch. Did you just call him the guy that made Dragon Ball?
I'm sorry.
Yes. Quite possibly, yeah. I mean, yeah. That's a very good point. It could have been directly linked to that. So, yeah.
Your boy Dan Schneider is reportedly suing the producers of Quiet on Set for defamation. He claims they falsely portrayed him as a child sexual abuser. If I recall, I remember you actually saying that. Like you were like, this show is kind of painting him in the picture. I don't think he really was. Dan Schneider said, "I ain't trying to hard time nobody."
I don't know how to hard time people. Yo, look, man.
Hold on. R. Kelly said, when we said T, how old are we talking? that whole interview was just so unhinged.
That was just iconic, man. Iconic shit. Like this nigga.
We say teenage, how old are we talking? It don't matter, bitch.
Kelly, yeah. This nigga is like 19, 17. Bitch. right. Fucking dumbass. Anyway. Look, you said it, man. During my review for Quiet on the Set, man, I was just like, look, I will acknowledge that he may not have been the nicest guy at that time. He may have been a creep at that time. But there was nothing in that documentary that said that he was touching, raping, or sexually assaulting any of these children. But if you let social media tell the story, that's all they got from the doc. And it was just like, I was looking like, first of all, like I have no idea who did. I've never met this nigga in my life. Like I don't give a fuck about this nigga. So before I even saw the doc and I saw all this stuff, I was like, okay, let me see what this nigga did. Like I'm interested because I care about these child actors. Like I grew up with them, and I was waiting for the entire thing to say, yeah, he raped this person, or he sexually assaulted this person, or he inappropriately touched this minor. And like, it just didn't happen. That's why I was just like, where's the conversation coming from? Now, there were conversations about people who did do those things, and fuck those people. Those people deserve everything they got. Great. But Dan Schneider, unless I didn't see the 6th episode that they randomly dropped. So if there's something in there about that, fine. And look, I'm not trying to down a fucking hill about this. If the nigga did it, he did it. But based on the 5 episodes that I saw, he didn't do shit besides be a jerk, be mean, ask for random massages. But like, was he the nicest guy? Was he the nicest boss? Should he have been in charge of those children? Probably not. But Was he fucking those kids, raping those kids? I didn't see anything of the sort reported in that documentary. That's all I'm trying to say.
All right, point made. That boy gonna ride for his boy. Sex and nudity in movies has decreased by almost 40%. Movies with
Nigga,
no
money hate this
sexual
boy.
anyway. Movies with no sexual content has increased from 20% per year to 50%. Honestly, I can see this, man, because I watch a lot of older films now, just as a film buff, and movies from like the 80s and 70s, and they had like titties everywhere, like titties and dicks just everywhere. And
Yeah.
now, like, it's you would think as time go forward, we would kind of be more progressive in that area, but I have noticed it has been kind of more conservative. Yeah, and like people were calling challengers like so, like which I saw, which I love that movie, like so sexy and stuff like that, and it really and like erotica, which I think it is kind of erotica to be honest, but there's no like private parts. Well, there actually is some dicks in there, never mind. But the point I'm trying to make is that the point I'm trying to make in that is that yeah, movies have kind of softened up in that area. I don't really mind it, I guess, but it is interesting to see that because I have noticed that trend. Any thoughts on that?
I appreciate it. I mean, like,
You
I
appreciate?
think, yeah, like, I don't need to see like raw dog fucking, like, bro, like, I think Insecure was like the last straw for like so many people. We were just like, bro, like, we don't need this. Like, we don't need this.
Oh, who said that? Who said that?
Yeah, I mean, look, I know there's a lot of horn dogs out there like yourself, and look, man, you know what, I consider myself moderately horny at times, but like if if I'm
Oh,
watching a film or a
you're
TV
not.
show,
You're not horny. You're a prude.
if whatever, I mean, if I just don't need it, and I'm glad we're kind of getting away from it because a lot of the times it's just fluff, especially like if it's like a TV show, like early on in a TV show, like there's so much just bullshit sex scenes just to like get you invested to make you keep watching. Like if you go back and watch Game of Thrones, like the first two seasons of that show, like there's like a sex scene in every single episode, and then there's literally none like the rest of the way. Like if you go back and watch The Walking Dead, there's sex scenes in The Walking Dead, like actual sex scenes, which are crazy that happened in seasons 1 and 2, and like they just don't happen anymore. It's just so funny how like they use that shit to try to make sure you stay watching, but it's not needed. If there's good storytelling, good characters, you don't need that shit.
Whatever. Did you know that Eternals was the first MCU movie to have a sex scene?
I did. Wait,
Mm-hmm.
what sex scene was in Eternals?
Icarus and
Uh,
Cersei.
oh yeah, they did have sex. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Anyway, that movie was ahead of its time. Let's talk about the movies that suffered the biggest net loss in terms of box office failures for last year in 2023. Four
This
out
is
of these
interesting.
five film guys are Disney films, by the way, but Disney, I'm pretty sure, is
I'm about
not.
to say that doesn't matter.
That doesn't matter to them. At
Drop
number
a bucket.
five, the Haunted Mansion lost $117 million. This is a movie that starred Lakeith Stanfield, the reboot.
Shocker.
No surprise there, to be honest. Number four is the Disney movie Wish, $131 million loss. This is I've heard bad things about this movie. I haven't seen this movie. It had the person of POC princess. I heard it's just so generic and just has all the tropes in it. I haven't seen this movie, but kids typically want to go out and watch kids' movies. That's surprising. But she is a person, like I said, she's a POC princess, so maybe not surprising. In
PLC. Never heard that one before.
POC.
Oh,
Um,
POC. Got it.
yeah. Indiana Jones 5, The Dial of Destiny lost $143 million, but its budget was like super nuts for an Indiana Jones movie.
Yeah.
So no surprise there. The Flash is the only non-Disney movie. Warner Brothers lost $155 million. I credit that to the whole Ezra Miller nonsense. And number
Obviously.
one is The Marvels, which lost a whopping $237 million. Any
This one
thoughts on any of
surprised me.
these?
Yeah, I feel like the Marvels really surprised me, especially because the first one made $1 billion. So how do you go from making $1 billion to your sequel
We, we
failing?
know. Well, we know how. Come on. There's 3 women leads and there's a black woman director. And people didn't like Captain Marvel, even though it made all that money. People didn't like the character, so those 3 factors were just a recipe
That's a
for failure.
massive loss, bro. Like 275. That is a
37,
massive loss.
237.
237 million.
Yeah,
That's a crazy loss. I mean, again, like it's Disney, so they don't care. She probably won't get another solo movie, but okay, that's probably for the best, honestly. But yeah, man, I mean, it's interesting. It's interesting that people just did not support, but I guess you're right. I mean, I'm fooling myself into thinking that, a brown girl like Kamala Khan, a black woman, and a black woman director would get the support of the masses. So you're probably right.
But interestingly enough, though, that black director Nia DaCosta, she made the most out of any black woman director ever, because it's a Marvel movie, for that movie. And also, it was rumored that Monica Rambeau had a spinoff project in the works. We don't know if it was a movie or a show, but that got canceled due to the lack of success for the Marvels. So now let's talk some DC and Marvel news, comic book news. There's one bit of DC news here, guys. Winston Duke, who also stars in the Fall Guy, and Baku in the Black Panther movie, says he wants to play Batman in the DCEU, or DCU. Now, I've never felt more racist than when I first read this. To be honest, I had a lot of things to say. Not on my watch. God damn it. But apparently, it was brought to my attention that he does voice Batman in this Batman podcast series called Batman Unburied, which I ended up listening to part of it just to see his Batman voice. He just sounds like Winston Duke, so I wasn't sold. Uh, I don't want
That's crazy.
no nigger Wayne in my movies. So yeah, I like Winston Duke as an actor though. And the fans was recasting his as in every other thing. Like, oh, he could be Mr. Terrific. He could be Steel.
Yeah. I
But not Bruce
thought
Wayne.
that was the funniest shit ever to me. Like immediately they were just like, oh wait, no, he's perfect for this guy, for this nigger role. Like, damn, like that's hilarious. Yeah, I have the same thoughts. That nigga's not being. I'm not even gonna give this any energy. Like
He
he's not
couldn't
doing
even be Jon Stewart. Like, lose some weight, bro. Like,
it.
anyway.
Damn. Okay.
This next bit news is really cool. Airbnb has been doing this thing where they like create houses from like different IP. Like they have a house from Up, which actually floats with a crane. Is it really floating? There's of course the Shrek Swamp House is somewhere in Europe, and now there's an X-Men mansion from the X-Men '97. And I've seen like a lot of videos on TikTok of people going to this X-Men mansion already and just kind of like touring around. It looks so cool inside of there. You can go in Jubilee's room, Storm's room. I'm throwing sheets. There's like a sentinel head outside. They like make you into like an animated character. It's so cool. I would not mind going there one day. Would you ever, if in New York, visit this X-Men mansion and want to stay there?
I wouldn't stay there, but I would definitely visit, just to take pictures and be like, oh my god, I did it. But I would never like sleep there. No.
Would you rather the X-Men mansion be recreated from the X-Men movies live action or from the X-Men '97 show?
I'm cool either way. But I actually that's not true. I am partial to the Fox X-Men film just because I grew up on those. And it's so funny now, but like that weird little metal blue door, whatever they have with just the X on it. I think it's like so cool. So yeah, I would love to see that, but whatever.
Cool. Josh Brolin has some words and says he has no idea why he's not returning as Cable in Deadpool and Wolverine. You never saw Deadpool 2, so you don't have that context. I think he was really good as Cable. His quote was, "I will never know where that went or what that is or what I'm involved in with that." That's not what he said. He said, quote, "I will never know what that went, where that went, or what that is, or what I'm involved with, or what I'm not involved with." The MCU being involved now, Cable was a lot of fun. I just think there's no room for him, to be honest, because I mean, when you got Wolverine and Deadpool in the movie, there's no room to really give Cable a significant kind of role, in my opinion. That's why he's not in there. But I did like him as Cable, though. And I thought he killed it as Cable and Thanos. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I don't believe him. He's probably going to be in it. So yeah.
Oh, okay. You think there's a whole trickery?
Yes.
A little trickery there.
He's lying. He's lying to my face.
Kevin Feige apparently advised Hugh Jackman against returning as Wolverine. He said, quote, "I said, don't come back. You had the greatest ending in history with Logan. That's not something that we should undo." Obviously, Hugh Jackman said, "Fuck you. I'm going to do what I want to do." But it's interesting that Kevin Feige would come out and even say that, though. I mean, I agree to an extent. Logan wasn't a fantastic ending for the character. So I'm interested if Deadpool and Wolverine can somehow justify making him come back. But I think Logan was like an amazing send-off. I know you're not the biggest fan of Logan.
Well, wait a minute. Hold on now. I don't think you should look at Deadpool and Wolverine as the benchmark for if Hugh Jackman should return or not. I don't think that's fair because obviously the end game is to have him with the Avengers. So if that moment works, then yes. But this one single thing is just a launching pad, and that's really all I'm expecting. As far as Kevin Feige's thoughts about Hugh Jackman, I mean, yeah, bitch. And then No Way Home, and then No Way Home came out, and he was like, "Wow, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. Time to get them all back." So yeah,
But Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield didn't have death send off like how Logan did.
that's irrelevant. They
That's the sole reason
both
why
of
there's no
their
reason to bring him back. That's the
no
sole reason. Yes, it
both
is.
of their careers ended as Spider-Man, bro. Like it was over for them. People never thought we were going to see them as Spider-Man again. Just like we
Agreed,
never thought we were going to see Hugh Jackman as Wolverine
but the
again. It's the
reason why
same
it's so
thing.
egregious to bring him back is because he died in such a beautiful fashion. That's all I'm saying. It's a different kind of comparison to Toby and Andrew
We're
Garfield.
it's not. We're in this era of multiverses. Like they're gonna retcon it and they're gonna make it make sense. And we're gonna eat it up. It's not gonna matter at all. It's not.
Okay, I disagree there. Chris Hemsworth has quite a few words about his Thor character in the MCU.
This
He
nigga's
says that
annoying.
he still can't forgive himself for Love and Thunder, which I respect him for saying this. He said, I got caught up in the improv and the wackiness. I became a
Nigga was having
parody
too
of
much
my
fun.
I became a parody of myself. I did not stick the landing. So hey man, that takes balls to say. I think he's in agreement with us. He knows what the fans want, and I agree with him 100%. He did become a parody of himself. Any thoughts on that?
I mean, yeah. Yeah, I agree with Chris Hemsworth on this single comment, yes. Because
His
that
next
movie was
comment,
fucking terrible.
it
Go ahead.
wasn't. It was not terrible, to be honest. It wasn't terrible. It just wasn't what we thought it would be after Endgame. Anyway, Chris Hemsworth says that he became frustrated with how Thor felt replaceable and like a security guard for the Avengers. His quote was, "I would read everyone else's lines and go, oh, they've got cooler stuff. They're having more fun. What's my character doing? It was always, you got the wig on, you've got the muscles, you got the costume. Yeah, I'm part of this big thing, but I'm probably pretty replaceable." That is interesting for him to say that. I think Thor has arguably not the. I think he is arguably the best arc out of the big three. Not the best performance, but well, you could argue that too, to be honest. But I don't think he was replaceable. I do think in Avengers 1 he was kind of played off as a joke, but they quickly rectified that when he came back for Age of Ultron, even though he kind of had the least to do in that movie. So maybe he's right. But in Endgame and Infinity War, he had a lot to do. He had a lot of the emotional burden was on him, and I thought his character was definitely fleshed out. How about you? What do you think about that?
I completely agree. Like that's why I'm just like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, what more do you want, nigga? Like, you had arguably the coolest scene in Infinity War. You've got arguably a top 5 scene in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You have one of the most tragic backstories as a character. You have one of the best redemption stories as a character. You have the coolest weapon in the Marvel Cinematic. Like, what else do you want, nigga? Like, seriously, like, what the fuck? Like, what do you
But
want, bro?
but can you agree that all that kind of came later on? Like in Avengers 1 and 2, he was kind of like even Hulk had more to do to him, even Hawkeye had more to do to him in Age of Ultron. Like, could you agree that he was kind of sidelined until the Russo brothers got involved?
No.
Okay.
I'm not rolling with that. No. I mean, look, I feel like Thor was super important in Avengers 1 and in Avengers 2. Like he was literally the reason why we started even thinking about Infinity Stones and like a greater universe. It was because of Thor. Like he was the pathway to all of that. I mean,
I think he
no,
means
I'm
more
not I'm
than
not rolling with
what
that.
he was given to do, but what he was actually given to say, his dialogue. I think he means more than just certain scenes that he was given. I think he's saying like Chris Hemsworth and Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. have more juicy lines to actually get into from an actor standpoint. They weren't just kind of these shallow characters.
Okay, man.
But then again, it's hard balancing out 6 fucking characters plus characters in an Avengers movie. But I think they did give the brunt work to RDJ and Chris Evans, but that's the choice I'm okay with because they're like the two faces
That's
of Marvel.
Captain America and Iron Man. Yeah, sorry, brother.
Yeah.
Sorry. They're going to have just a teeny bit more to do than you. But
So
to
now I have an
me,
okay, sorry.
to me, man, Chris Hemsworth Thor is absolutely amazing. I wouldn't want to see anybody else in the MCU in this role, and it's his until he doesn't want to do it. And I hope that moving forward, he can get whatever he thinks he wants, and he can be happy because all this complaining I'm hearing, I'm not loving.
So can you rank the 6 performances out of the OG 6, like not the characters, not how much who you like the most, but just from an acting standpoint? Can you give me your? I'll go first while you think though. Your kind of 1 through 6 in terms of who gave the best performance. Number 1 for me is RDJ, is Iron Man. Number 2 for me would have to probably be. It's honestly between Chris Evans and Chris Hemsworth. I think Hemsworth just really brought it in from the emotional standpoint in Infinity War and Endgame. 3 is Evans. 4, I think Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow gets a lot of. She doesn't get the credit she deserves from the acting standpoint. I think she does a lot of brunt work for that. Number 5, I'll go Mark Ruffalo. Number 6, I'll go Jeremy Renner. But they all really great though in terms of just the performances. What's
Yeah.
yours?
6 Renner, 5 Ruffalo. And it's so funny because if you'd have
Same
asked me
order.
this in 2012, I would have had Ruffalo a lot higher, but they just haven't given him literally anything to do since, which
Mm.
is interesting. If somebody deserves to fucking complain, it's him. Anyway, number 4, I will go Hemsworth.
Oh, 4.
Number
I'm sorry.
3, I will go Evans, 2 Johansson, 1 RDJ. I think
Interesting.
Scarlett Johansson, as far as what she's able to do on the screen as an actress, she's amazing.
She is.
She's really good in even in scenes where like she isn't really supposed to be. And it's like, okay, Black Widow, okay, little bitch, okay, I feel you,
What?
okay.
Little bitch. Oh my god. Okay, we're gonna get canceled.
Toxic.
We're gonna get canceled so
All
crazy.
right.
Um,
Don't do it, guys. Don't do it.
Next quote, guys. We have another Marvel quote from the Russo brothers. They said that they don't believe that superhero fatigue is a thing, and they think that Marvel's recent struggles are due to a big divide between generations and how they consume media. The quote is: "There's a generation that's used to appointment viewing and going to a theater on a certain date to see something, but that's aging out. Meanwhile, this new generation is I want it now, I want to process it now, and they want to move on to the next thing really quickly." When which they process whilst they're doing two other things at the same time. It's a very different moment than how it was before. And also, I think that everyone, including Marvel, is experiencing the same thing, this transition. And I think that it's really probably what's at play more than anything else. So, do you agree with the Russo brothers on this? It's more of a generational thing than just the Marvel fatigue or the superhero fatigue.
I feel like I halfway do, but I halfway don't. Obviously, I think anybody would consume anything if it was actually good. And superhero fatigue has a lot less to do with it. But I will say that this newer generation is different, man, and they do not give a fuck. Like, uh, you think I'm bad not wanting to sit through a 2.5 hour movie? Like these niggas are like hour 45, and like I'm on my phone, like I'm on YouTube, I'm on Twitch, like I'm doing doing 150 other things while I'm watching this movie. So um, I think there could be some merit to it, but ultimately, I still think that if you make something good, then there wouldn't be any mention of this. But there's been so many mediocre to average things put out lately that we're in this conversation of superhero fatigue, which we've been in for like 10 years now. This isn't new, by the way. So yeah, what do you think?
I think you hit the nail on the head with the first thing you said, which is that if it's good, no one gives a fuck. You can have 100 superhero movies a year. If they're fucking good, no one's going to care. We saw the excitement that came with the Batman when that came out a couple years ago and how everybody was on board with that. People were talking about it to this day. We saw the excitement for the Joker when that came out. It was a $1 billion rated R movie, which doesn't happen that often. So, like you said, if the movie's great and there's talent behind the camera and in front of the camera, it's going to be there's this whole fatigue thing goes out the window. But when we get the Quantumanias and the Marvels and stuff like that, then yeah, at least to fatigue. And I don't blame them. I'm getting fatigued with that shit. And I love fucking Marvel and DC. Um, the new Hellboy movie used AI for their character designs. Apparently, the quote was, "I was able to make 3,000 creature designs with AI in 1 hour. So now I can start cherry picking and editing those to send to the visual effects team." Do you see a problem with this?
Uh, I don't know. I mean, I feel like the masses are like AI is bad because it's taking away jobs. Um, but again, I think I've said this before, but like if I'm the studio or if if I'm on the other side of it and I'm saving labor and I'm saving money, why would I not use AI? Like why would I not do it? But obviously, I still totally get the other side because I am on the other side. I'm in IT, and even some of our jobs are in danger of being gone to AI. So um, I don't know. I mean, there's it's like a really weird topic, I guess. Do I care in this instance that AI is being used? I really don't. No.
Apparently the director came out and said, "Yeah, I didn't know that was a thing. I'm actually pissed off about that." Maybe he's trying to save face. Who knows? But I mean, from the editor or from the designer standpoint, I totally get it. Like if you can get 3,000 designs in an hour and kind of cherry pick and tell, fuck you, bitch. If you can get If you can get 3,000 designs in an hour, that's actually insane. No
yeah.
visual person can do that, so I get it from that standpoint. But from the integrity of film and all that kind of stuff, sure, whatever. Last segment here, guys, is just some kind of social media ish stuff.
Oh.
This is really exciting for me, actually, as a guy that loves TikTok. UMG, which is Universal Music Group, and TikTok have reached a new agreement. All music from their artists will return to the platform. Guys, I have so
Too
many
fucking
videos
late.
in my TikTok likes that are just silenced and muted, which I never unlike, because I was like, you know what, it's gonna come back one day. And all those sounds will come back, so I'm excited for that. And yeah, I think this is the best, even though
Yeah.
TikTok might be fucking gone in 6 months.
Might be. No, it is. That shit's gone.
Please don't say that. I have hope. I really do. It's so funny. Like every TikTok has like the creator of the TikTok has like he like posts himself on his own For You page. He's like, guys, help me sign this petition, please. We need it. I got you, sir. And last bit of news is Bumble, the dating app, will no longer require women to message first on the dating app. So this is a big thing with Bumble. I got some friends that use Bumble, and they always say like, it's this one sucks because the girl have to hit me up first, and now and the guys you guys should be happy now because now you horny niggas can reach out to the girls first. I haven't used dating apps in a very long time, if ever, to be honest. So this really doesn't affect me, but I know this was a big point of contingency with Bumble.
Cool, man. Shout out to all you single niggas out there. Mondi, thank you, man. Great pod. Guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe down below to the Current Era Pod. What's so fucking funny?
Nothing. Go ahead.
All right. Thanks, Mondi.